Greetings, comrades. Hope this finds you well. Quick shout out to the Indie News Network, which I'm stoked to be a part of. So, the great resignation continues here in the United States. A record 4.5 million people quit their jobs in the month of November. And it was either in September or October of this year that there also was a previous record set for its terms of how many people quit their jobs in 1 month. And it's not obviously surprising if you look at the material conditions and what sectors in particular these people are leaving their jobs from, largely from, the retail sector, service jobs where, the pay is very low. There's not really a lot of benefits or room to move up, a lot of precarity. And obviously, there's already a huge amount of precarity in this capitalist system here in the United States, but particularly for the sector, right? And then the article obviously, correctly brings up low pay, lack of childcare, dangerous working conditions, i.e., still very much in the middle of a pandemic. The United States setting records for cases. We had 1 million new cases one day earlier this week. While this mass resignation may give labor some leverage to fight for higher wages and better benefits, it's also a sign of the difficult choices working people continue to face as the pandemic rages on, right? Because we don't have any type of real social safety net here for the working class, particularly the most vulnerable and marginalized elements of it. So do people continue in these really shitty jobs with no benefits, childcare that often, takes a huge chunk of their income? If they have kids, no really room for, moving up the, ladder, if you will, or do they quit and try to figure out what to do in the meantime, right? And again, you add in the added layer of we're still very much in the middle of a pandemic. Part of an ongoing trend of resignation that may have been steadily increasing for months, the BLS is reporting that more than 4.5 million people quit their jobs. It's about 100,000 more than the previous record set in September. Think about that. Literally another 2 months later, it's setting another record for how many people quit their jobs. It's the highest number of resignations since the BLS started keeping records. Biggest portions happening in food services, retail, hospitality sectors where pay and benefits are lowest, where working conditions in many cases remain unsafe. But they're not alone. Truck drivers and other transportation workers across the country are quitting en masse, threatening already weakened supply chains. Healthcare workers have also been leaving record numbers. Almost 20% of healthcare workers, some suffering from PTSD, have quit their jobs since the pandemic. And of course, you're not going to hear about this, in the corporate media. And if you do, they're going to paint it in positive light. Like, oh, yeah, look, it's so strong. People can, quit their jobs and just, rest around. Difficult for parents and young children. Again, childcare is exponentially expensive in the United States, and it can take a huge chunk of people's incomes. It's literally insane. So labor participation for women has fallen by 2 percentage points since the pandemic began. This decline is 2 times that of men, as lowest participation rate for women since '87. Participation rate for women and children even lower, has declined by 4%. The reasons for this are clear. When schools closed, many parents, particularly mothers, were forced to remain home with their children. Those who were required to work in person quit, while many of those others who worked from home found impossible to manage both children work at the same time. Very difficult to balance. Children require a lot of effort and care, as do, a lot of jobs, right? How is kind of impossible to pick that, right? So it's basically, they don't want to close the schools because then people would have to stay home from work to take care of their kids, right? Wages not keeping pace with inflation. If minimum wage have kept up with inflation or productivity, it'd be about $44 an hour right now. Let's see. There's real dispute developing between working people fed up with the decades of neoliberalism and the capitalist class which has been doing everything in its power to keep the economy open, guaranteeing their profits and increasing productivity regardless of the consequences. In order to win the struggle, working people and the unions must, and then again, union participation is like at an all-time low right now. Like 10%, I think, of the workforce, and that's largely in the public sector, unionized. Turn away from their bureaucratic leadership and the Democratic Party and learn again how to use the power of their labor to collectively shut down production. 100%. Withholding labor in a capitalist system is frankly one of the few ways that you can get the capitalist system to come to the table, right? So pretty interesting, this great resignation movement continuing to happen here in the United States, but not surprising given the material conditions that these people are working in, particularly in the sectors that they outlined. Low pay, next to little to no benefits, and dangerous working conditions, still very much in the middle of the pandemic. You add in childcare, particularly for women. We've seen their labor participation drop to the lowest rates since 1987. So, like the video, if you like the damn video, subscribe for more content. Quick shout out to the 2 Uber comrades supporting my channel, my partner in the Left News. I guess her, even though she's not an Uber comrade.
I am that.
Capitalism is the virus. Peace. She's not.